Good morning. This morning we're going to walk over and have a look at that little steam engine parked over there on display that was part of the Rogue River Valley Railroad here in Jacksonville. And that's where we're at today here in Jacksonville. And that big building up there is the old schoolhouse that is now a German restaurant and business offices. But I went to school there in 1970, 71, and 72, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. They have done an awful lot of work out here on this. Here's a couple of old pictures of the building. You can see it has been all remodeled, and they've actually put a bell tower up there and all that good stuff. I actually went on a tour of that of the inside of that a few years ago with my 5th grade teacher, Mr. Smith. So anyway, let's walk over here and have a look at this steam engine. We're going to go check out all the old places where this thing ran from Medford down there, 5 miles down there. Apparently the tracks ran right through this area way back in the 1900s. Early 1900s, and then we're going to go check it out farther on up the hill to see where this thing actually ran and what it did. So let's head over here now. So this is actually called Bigham Knoll, if you want to check this out with a Google Earth map or something. And here's our engine, our steam engine. So this is... Hopefully there's an information placard around here that will tell me about this thing. Apparently we will not be able to climb on top of it and get into it. So I don't know if this is considered a narrow gauge railway or not. I have no idea. Oh yeah, we got some information over here. So this was a very small engine, and it pulled passengers from Medford. And like I said, somewhere, the tracks were somewhere around here. Of course, they've all been removed. We'll look at some of the tracks up there at the depot on our next stop. And we'll take a look at this. Go ahead and hopefully get close enough. It can be read. Can go ahead and pause it right there and read all about this thing. Yeah, looks like a pretty archaic piece of machinery to operate for sure. So when I was a kid growing up so many years ago, this was a playground here. And here's some old pictures of us on the playground equipment. It was all new equipment, and the newspaper came out and took these pictures, and I'm one of these kids in here that got to play on the new equipment. Seems like a million years ago. All right, well, let's go check out the depot on the west side of town. So right there is the depot. Apparently it has been turned like 180 degrees from its original position. You can see some railroad tracks embedded in the ground, and the railway came up this street here and proceeded up past my car here, which is sitting on some of these embedded tracks. So the train from here on, it was freight and logging train. It wasn't a passenger train going any farther past this area. So we'll go down here to this placard and look at it really quick. So the train tracks went through this area here. I'll show you a photograph that was taken from up on the hill over there, looking back here, and you can actually see what appears to be railroad tracks running through this area. So now we have another little display of these old railroad tracks right here, probably original type tracks. Now we'll look at this little placard, and you can pause it here and read that. So now we're going to go ahead and head up here into the mountains and check out where the train ran, and an interesting structure up there that has to do with the locomotive getting water. Right now I'm on the Lower Woodlands Trail System just outside of Jacksonville, to be a ditch trail that brought water to Jacksonville way back in the 1800s. I grew up here in this area, so I've been up here 20 million times or more, and we always knew these as the horse trails. Now they're very well maintained, and our first piece of Rogue River Valley Railroad history is just up here a little ways. And here we are. We got Jackson Creek down there flowing. We got Highway 238 right over there. And right down there, through the trees, I'll see if I can zoom in on it, is that big cement structure sitting partway in the creek. That is part of railroad history there. So somewhere between that and the highway, or on the highway, the railroad actually ran. It's no longer there, of course, but that's about where it ran. So we got these two nice placards down here, and they will tell us about what in the world that thing is down there. So here's our first placard. You can pause it right here and read about that. Here is our second placard showing the train and the tracks and that cement structure down there and exactly what it was for. So you can go ahead and pause it and read it right there. We can get a good shot of the cement structure down there. It's always been there, and as kids we used to go down there and climb on it, and we wondered what in the world it was for. But we never knew anything about the Rogue River Valley Railway. All right, well, let's continue on to the end of the trail. All right, I'm walking along the trail here. I found another little placard that will have something to do with the railroad in there. So you can go ahead and pause it here and read that. Okay, we're up here at the end of the trail. The trail doesn't actually end, it goes that way now. But this is as far as we can go. So the railroad, wherever it traveled at, would have crossed Highway 238 right there and would have proceeded up that road, the Jacksonville Reservoir Road. And it'll go about a mile, and then we'll come to Forest Park, and at Forest Park we'll be able to get onto the original railroad road, and it's going to be on that side of the road that you see there, and then we'll be able to just follow it up from there for quite a long ways. So that's going to be our next journey, and that's going to have to wait for another day. This day's about over for me.